Welcome to the Tremaine cast. We're talking about coronavirus today and its effect on gaming and the esports industry. So I'm Cole. Anyone else want to intro?
I'm Austin.
I'm Joel.
I'm DJ.
And I'm Milos.
All right. Well,
And
let's
we're the
get
esports
started.
task force.
The pros who aren't pros. Let's go.
Pros in spirit,
We're trying.
doing our best. All right.
Hey.
So anyway, what do we want to start with?
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this E3 thing, man. It's a
Yeah,
big
let's-
deal.
We should start
That's
with
the biggest
coronavirus in general.
Yeah,
I think
in
everyone
general,
knows what
for
that is
sure.
by now,
That's-
hopefully.
Okay, so yeah, as most
Does
of us-
anybody know the latest specs of how the coronavirus is affecting America?
I know we're at about going on 10,000 deaths nationwide. We're approaching that. Over 350,000 cases in the country.
Um,
I'm looking right now. By the way, it just recently passed the all-time record for the number of deaths in a day set by the flu. It is
Really?
Wow.
more people in one day than the flu did. Yeah.
Today was how many died today? I heard it was around 10 or 10, 1,000. If I'm incorrect, I'm not sure what today's count was.
Our total deaths are 9,618.
Okay, so yeah, close to 10,000. Wow.
17,000, almost 18.
Is that worldwide or is that is worldwide, right? Not just for us?
No, that's U.S. Yeah, we've had
Oh my
about
God.
9,600 deaths so far, and about 1,800 people recovered, or 18,000 recovered. Sorry.
yeah, and so far in Texas, there's 6,812 cases reported and 127 deaths.
It's showing
And-
133 and 7,000 for me.
Yeah. Now,
Tarrant County has 404 cases.
yeah, I was gonna ask,
Wow.
are we all in Tarrant County? Are we all within Tarrant County?
I'm in Tarrant
I
County.
am.
Me too.
I am. Yeah. So damn, that's a lot of cases for
Yeah,
this
and-
county.
Compared to Dallas, Dallas has 1,015 cases.
My
We're doing
God.
all right.
You
Yeah.
got to think compared to DFW is still one of the biggest metropolises out there, but in terms of how New York City is doing or Los Angeles is doing, even Seattle's still skyrocketing with cases.
Right, we're not even in the top 10. I'm not even sure where we fit in that top 20 area, but I know, yeah, just looking at the top 10, where we're at, and then knowing how New York is doing right now, they're on. I mean, I'm surprised the whole entire city is. I mean, I know it's on as strict a quarantine as it gets, but
Yeah, I mean, just for reference, New York is at 123,000. They're a third of all of our cases, just
Wow.
about.
Wow.
that's scary, man.
We're actually pretty close to. Well, okay, we're close to the top, but it jumps drastically. So you've got there's some the states that are there's states hovering around 200 to 300, and then it jumps up into the 6 to 9s, and then there's a couple 1 to 3,000s, and then we're 7,000, and it just goes to the next state up. Is Washington at 7,900, and then Illinois at 11,000.
Oh my God.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because here in the South we're more spread out. The northern states they're more densely populated, so this disease can spread faster. I think that's kind of a big factor why Texas is not as largely affected as some of these other states.
Especially, I'm surprised, especially since we were kind of late to the whole shelter in place, party.
Including Tarrant County, which came after Dallas County with their shelter in place, but we
Yeah.
still have less cases.
Yeah.
But I mean, with me and probably what Cole can tell you too is working at grocery stores, you can't even tell. I think we're busier now than we would be without this thing. It's insane.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Are you also, you and Cole are still employed, right? And then DJ, are you employed?
Yeah, but I work 1 day a week, and then last week I was basically told not to come in, so
Right.
not really.
How
What about you, Austin?
I'm basically under work furlough right now, so yes, but we're not actively working.
Yeah, see, I was same thing. I was work furloughed, and then they ended up just laying me and 90% of us off. So it's
Jeez.
yeah, it's crazy because like the whole, I think it's just like we deal with the part of the virus first, and then you start realizing like I never thought I'd be filing for unemployment, let alone like so many people I know are just like, especially within my household, like me and all my siblings except for my older brother, he's working because he can work from home in his laptop, but us, like a service industry worker, so I'm like, I lost my job.
Yeah, we have no way to actively make money.
Exactly. And there's I filed for unemployment, but that itself, me and like millions of Americans are going through the same stuff. Is like we're not getting money. Our money, we don't know how fast it's gonna get here, as well as the stimulus package. With that, and then the additional unemployment benefits that go along with that. Because I don't know if y'all know the additional unemployment benefits for that is on top of the benefits you get from the government through filing for unemployment, you're getting an additional $600 per week. Which that's why I recommend people apply for unemployment as soon as you can. But I'm not even sure when that whole stimulus thing, how soon that'll be out, because checks are going to take months. Direct deposits even expected to take a month or two. So that's kind of scary.
That's so many people they have to process to get that kind of stuff out there.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
And it sucks for a lot of people at our level too, because what a lot of people didn't know when they initially told us about the stimulus package is that if you're listed as a dependent from your parents, even if you're a full-time college student, you get nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting anything.
Wait, did you say or you're a full-time college student?
And even if you're a full-time college student, if you're listed as a dependent, you still.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm luckily I haven't been a dependent of my parents in like 3 years, going 3 years now. Which luckily, but the thing is, for a while I remember I was like, oh, I still want to file with my parents, blah blah. Luckily, I'm glad I didn't, because I even asked my mom. I was like, "Hey, am I a dependent?" Because for some reason, I just wanted to triple
clarify.
Wanted to be completely sure. And she was like, "No, you haven't." I'm like, "Thank God," because once my funds run out, and then I actually, funny thing is that I haven't my UTA payment for my payment plan. I called the UTA and I told them, "Hey, I've got these payments. I have a $1,600 payment due on April 1st, and I don't have money to pay other bills, but I don't know what to do. Our late fee is gonna be deferred or whatever." And they're like, "No, it's not." And then they emailed me a week ago, and this was a week and a half after I'd made the call, and they actually emailed me and they're like, "Hey, you called us, and we are gonna defer your late fees in April and in May." So I was like, okay, well that helps me out.
So at least they're kind of giving you a little bit of a break.
A little bit of a break, So I'm not sure how their universities are doing it either. I just know it's tough, because that's the first thing I was worried about was, am I gonna pay my tuition? What?
Yeah.
I think it's what's up?
Go ahead.
I think it's a good step forward that they refunded parking stuff, but I think it's still ridiculous that everyone has we're still paying for the Mac and the writing center and stuff like that, stuff that we can't even.
Center, yeah.
We're not going to use the whole semester. Yeah.
Yeah, why am I still paying for the library? I can't go in there. Why am I still paying for the Mac? It's not even running. I mean, that money's not even being used. The Mac employees don't get paid. They don't go into work. So where is that at? Why am I? Because I had a scholarship, which originally when I got it, it was the presidential, and that covered just tuition. So I still have to pay for books and dorm and all that stuff. Now that doesn't even cover tuition because of the price increases. So now I'm still paying some stuff out of pocket, and I'm not there should be at least $1,000 that we don't have to pay for, something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So half the semester we're not getting these benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
Months.
And the thing is, if the next semester also, if this is continued through May, I'm assuming summer semester will also have to be online as well. Right. Will they drop tuition prices for that? That's the big question. I doubt it, because money's money, but it would be nice. It would be a nice touch.
It doesn't sound like UTA to drop that. But.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think any institution's going to be willing to let go of that much money.
Yeah.
Money comes first.
Yes, it does.
Well, I guess we can get to the point of the topic and start talking about how this whole thing's really affecting, the major industry of esports. It's an industry that kind of has started off small and nobody's really taken it seriously. And, the first 5 years that it was growing, but for I'd say this year and the 2 years before that, especially since like Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch kind of joined in the scene with their World Cup majors, like esports is hot. Like it's covered on ESPN, it's covered everywhere. You know, it's a recognizable industry and field that people are moving to, and everything pretty much until July so far has been cut off already.
Yeah, and even on top of that, with E3 being canceled and everything, the Smash community, they're never backed by any, like, they probably have the worst luck out of any community because they don't have any. Nintendo literally does not even care about them. They don't even sponsor them with anything and nothing. And so this year was supposed to be a humongous year for Smash because the Smash World Tour was announced, where it's literally a world tour like we're doing. It's an international thing. You know, people are traveling in different continents, different parts of the U.S. as well. And this was the first event that was literally raised and like fundraised and kickstarted by everybody in the community, and to where the final prize is $250,000. Like for the first time, Smash got a pot, like a big prize of money, and now the entire thing is postponed until June. Just postponed, but by the way things are going, like there's no way that if you're going to be traveling across multiple continents, this is not, you know, all that money that was raised. It's almost like they're going to be losing a lot of money. You know, a lot of these people that started with, like for example, CEO is one of the bigger tournaments in that whole world tour. The guy took like $150,000 loan to put it on, and now the event is not going to happen. Most likely, if it's postponed or even canceled, the guy, you know, it basically that whole tournament that's been going on for 8-9 years now, almost a decade, is going to be, you know, extinct essentially. Which I feel like it's taken a huge toll on this, especially for it allows players to stream from home, and you know, Twitch, it allows people to use Twitch a little more, and you know, people to use that platform more, but it also, the money being lost is it's very significant. So it's great.
And there's not really a backup for that either, because on the Switch you can't really play online, right?
You can, but it's not good.
Yeah,
like Smash Online. Smash Online specifically. Anything Nintendo hosted is that they still don't do like dedicated servers. So if one person in an 8-player Smash or 4-player, whatever the online limit is, if they have bad internet, the whole group suffers.
Yeah,
and it's, you know, E3 especially, well, because this is such a hit for esports, it's actually, like you mentioned, kind of being a rise for gaming in general. Like you said, you've got more Twitch streamers now. You've got more support for Twitch streamers and YouTube channels because people have nothing else to do with their time other than to watch their favorite gamer. You've got some game sales, specifically and console sales, increasing because of the fact that people have nowhere to be and nothing other than do but to be home and game. So while we're getting to see an increase in that, the competitive scene's taking such a heavy hit because they can't hold their competitions with live audience where they're paying for their seats. They're still hosting them and they can still do it online, but they're not making any profit off of that because they're not charging for you to watch it on Twitch or to watch it on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is really good though. Like for games that were, aside from games that are getting delayed, for games that have just been released, I mean, this is a great time for instance, Animal Crossing. I know Milos and I work at you work at, what did you say, Walmart?
Yeah.
I work at Target. I mean, games have been moving off the shelves like nothing before. Like we sold the Xbox One all digital edition, which normally doesn't happen. like we've sold everything. We're out of PlayStations, Xboxes, Switches are a whole other story.
Of course.
Animal Crossing is flying off. Like we have this wall at my job full of PS4 controllers, and it's never empty. And there's nothing there because everyone's just coming in buying Xbox controllers and cords and games and stuff. Like it's just so many people at home. It's crazy. I've never seen sales like this. I'd say it's probably selling like toilet paper.
I mean, I take part in the sales too, because like now is the perfect time to get back into some games. I have a PlayStation 4 and I've always wanted like Days Gone and Jump Force. They were on sale. I was like, yeah, I have to buy these because I have more time to like get into them and actually play them and progress through them.
Yeah, and they're I mean, and then like It's funny that you mentioned PlayStation. I was on the dashboard the other day, and it's like a 50% offset. Like not only them, but like I even got on the Nintendo eStore, and then my brother's got the Xbox One back there, and I like checked out all the stores just because I was curious. Everybody's got some sort of sale going on.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like it's for some people. I mean, it just the esports community is really taking a hit, but then just the gaming community and industry in general is like it's such a huge high right now. It's crazy. Particularly like Nintendo, Nintendo, God, I like their quarter sales of this year is going to be ridiculous and then for as long as this goes on, as soon as anywhere that has a Switch pre-order or anywhere that has Switches coming in, I mean, they're almost all out of stock because what a great console to have in the quarantine playing Animal Crossing,
And you've got like the Switch already is in high demand right now, right? Because you got Animal Crossing just dropped. Like what's another releasing game? You had like a Luigi's Mansion in October. They've had a pretty consistent game schedule, and it made other rumors and stuff. You've got the Breath of the Wild sequel coming up. Something big involving ports for Mario's birthday is happening. And then that combined with you've got this really high season where there's a huge demand for them. On top of that, people are stuck at home, so now there's an even bigger demand. And at the same time, I believe Nintendo's main factory right now is in China, and that one is still closed. So most of their units are coming out of like their South Korean factory, which is a good factory, but it's way smaller. It's kind of like their like emergency, or usually it supplies like certain regions, So there's a shortage of Switches. There's a huge demand. It's just like the recipe for disaster in terms of actually trying to get a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of big industry things and changes like that, games have been going more digital more and more, it's last couple of decades. Well, last couple of years, my bad. Now with this, I believe more people are definitely choosing to buy digital because obviously we're stuck at home. Do you think this is going to have any kind of effect on, future of physical media? Like, do you think this is going to push digital way past where physical was, or no? Because I still buy all of my games physically, and I know some of my friends buy it half digitally, but yeah.
I prefer physical games because that way I can like share them or lend them out, or and I'm not contained to just one PS4, but recently I've gotten a lot of digital games, so many that I've had to like buy an external like hard drive. So I'm kind of in the middle on the fence. Like if I prefer physical over digital, it's easier for me just to be able to start the game instead of having to get up and put the CD in and remember which game is digital, which game is physical. I prefer to have just one, like, either physical or all digital, but it doesn't work out that way. But I'm kind of leaning toward digital.
Yeah.
How many of you guys?
Go ahead. Go.
Well, I was gonna say, how many of you guys prefer like digital or physical? Like out of this group.
See, I mean, I prefer I prefer physical, but I literally am like DJ. Like I have probably 50-50 because so much of the time, like, especially a lot with these like with the Switch, especially so many of these like indie platformers and like developers are switching there, so they're like they have a bunch of indie games now on the Switch that I'm not gonna go out looking for Enter the Gungeon cartridge at like a GameStop or something when I can just download it for $10 like right here and add the funds in and there. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm 50-50. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50.
It also depends on sales, like any sales that they have going on.
Of course, yeah. So, I mean, do you think this is going to affect industry going forward, this coronavirus crisis, or do you think it's still not going to change the numbers that much when it comes to digital?
I don't think so.
I think it's fully determined based on how long this lasts. If this only continues on for maybe another 2.5-3 months, then no, I don't see it making that big of a difference. Like, we're in a growing age of digital anyway, like progressively less and less people are buying physical copies. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I can see that just being a non-factor anymore. Like, physical copies of games is going to be a lot more retro than it is today. Now, however, if coronavirus causes, further and further quarantine and shortages of business, and this lasts for another half a year to 8 months, then yeah, I can see physical copies taking a really hard hit, and companies like GameStop, which are already struggling, probably going bankrupt because of it.
Yeah, no, for real. And I feel like that's the thing. Like I relate this situation with physical media and digital media with games. It's really similar to like the way people are talking about like the movie theater industry and how like, oh, theaters are gonna close and theaters are like, I think in the reality of it is it's a theater experience is just that much different from a in-home digital experience. It just is. Just like it's just the same way like going to get a game or pre-ordering a game. A lot of that it is different in its ways because this is a video game. It's like a physical thing you plug in, and it's not like something you don't go to a theater to play a video game. It's totally different. But in the same way of like the business side, like I just don't feel like game stores, maybe definitely GameStop, especially them, because they are a struggling company at times, and then like there's hundreds of stores that before all this were already getting close. And then there's companies like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, big chains that will sell the same games for the same price, do the same thing, and then Target has deals on buy two get one other one free or whatever. So and none of those game stores do stuff like that. So I think it'll definitely, I think it's gonna impact it, but not in the way that is something that's really predictable. I don't think any of us, whatever happens, it's just gonna be something else we can't predict because I have no idea.
I think as well because like we're kind of at the point where we've had a really huge shift recently. I think it really started with like what was it, Gen 6 of consoles or so. You had the Wii U, you had the Xbox 360, PS3, where a lot of stuff moved towards online. The people that are buying physical right now are going to keep buying physical. Like the remaining people are the ones that are collectors that hold on to stuff. Like me, I'm all digital because it's like my Switch is like our party machine.
Right.
When I'm partying with friends and we're all hopped up on substance and we want to play games. I don't want to fumble with 800 cartridges. I don't want to lose one. But I do think I see, maybe not like, I don't see much of a shift as well because it seems like we've got cartridges in stock. I don't know about you, Milos, but at Target we've got a fair amount still. Like we don't run out of games any more frequently than we do like before all this is going on. I think it's easier to manufacture. I think what we might see though is a boost in storage hardware. I think storage hardware is going to become more popular and cheaper because in the event of something like this, people are going to want to be able to back stuff up and download games. And a lot of people are realizing just how little storage they have.
Yeah.
Like our Xbox and PS4 game drives are gone. Our Switch, like micro SD cards in general for Switches are flying off the shelves. People are starting to realize, oh, my Switch has 32 gigs of storage. My Xbox only has 500 gigs. This is not enough to download everything.
Especially
in the event that I need to.
It takes 100 gigs.
Yeah, it might be a time to buy some stock into Western Digital.
Did you see apparently recently tapes, they found out you can store like 300,000 terabytes or something like that on a tape?
What?
Oh my god.
There was some huge like breakthrough, and we've got a new type of SSD that's on its way, like NVMe is blowing up. Like you've got all these different storage methods. I mean, a 4 terabyte physical hard drive is like $99 now.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy because I have just this terabyte hard drive and it was like $40. Like
Yeah.
That's how much more. Man, I guess I bought mine a long time ago. I guess when I bought my terabytes, they were about $70-$80.
Yeah.
And my 2 terabytes was like $140, $150. Damn.
Yeah,
this has been a couple years.
Like 4 years ago, I bought a 2 terabyte for like $123 or some shit like that.
That's crazy. I legit just bought a 2 terabyte like 2 days ago for $65.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Target's got them for I think $69 right now.
Hey, so I have a question with if we're talking about like drives in general, digital gaming, and solid state drives and stuff. The releases of the PS5 and the Xbox Project Scarlet, whatever. I don't even know what it's called.
It's Series X.
Oh,
Series X. Yeah. So I'm wondering. I was like, with those, like that's going to be a huge boost for like just digital game sales in general because the amount of storage that those things are going to have and the capabilities and the strength of those solid state drives and download speeds, like that's going to be a huge boost. And then just speaking hypothetically on how long this could possibly last, like if it lasts, I mean, who are we to say like it's going to last another 3 months? It could last another year. It could last. To where these things
last as long as a vaccine takes.
Yeah, as a vaccine takes, exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like would that affect? Do you all know the release dates on those? I guess I'd have to look that up. Or if they have anything planned. I don't know.
We don't.
Holiday.
We don't have dates.
Probably.
Just fall holiday season.
Yeah.
It's normally like November when they release, like Black Friday time.
Yeah.
We may see them push back though, because it's rumored that even the iPhone 12 might not see the light of day until next year.
Yeah, that. And then thinking about mass gathering, dude, that's a mass gathering right there. People going out to get an iPhone
Actually, with the advent of Apple's online store, apparently numbers have dropped steeply in the last couple of years because people have just been pre-ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not so bad. But yeah, I think I don't even know if Apple stores are going to be open. And I mean, they're closed indefinitely. Who knows?
Yeah. Ooh.
Dang. See what
So,
was
I mean, that might be. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
So I mean that might be a thing because with a lot of viruses and diseases, they will fade during the summer when it's a little bit harder for them to, move around between people. And then when it gets colder back in the fall, it might we might see another corona spike. So we might have another quarantine time or whatever, a couple of months.
Yeah.
So I mean that might actually coincide with the releases of these systems. So that is a good point.
Yeah, especially with the weather. You're saying like. Yeah, in the summer, this thing, it dies after like 80 degrees or something around 80 degrees that this doesn't survive.
I think it was 30 to 50 last I saw, but that was really early on.
Yeah, I'm not so sure exactly what the temperature is, but anything in the Texas heat, of course, I mean, the virus is going to definitely, the spread of it's going to slow down, but right now, I mean, the weather we've been having lately is like so random. Like, having this cold last couple of days, had been freezing, like,
yeah,
what?
And we had like 2 weeks just of rain before that.
Yeah, and then another, like, same with this week. I think this week's supposed to be kind of another cloudy, rainy week, so.
It's frustrating.
It's weird. What's the government doing?
Yeah,
It's
right.
the birds, man. It's the birds. They're doing this change of batteries in the birds.
Yeah. I haven't seen a single bird since this quarantine started.
I haven't seen a plane.
I've only seen those jets the jets that have like just a stream of white, and I'm like, what the hell are they putting in the air?
I haven't seen a single plane. Now that I think about it, except for the one time I went to Dallas to grab something to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, almost all the flights grounded. I think maybe over 50% are grounded, I think. And they laid off a whole bunch of staff. All the airlines did. So, it's not surprising. All those people out of work, too.
And here's kind of a new development as well. I don't know if you guys saw this. In the UK, people are burning down 5G towers because of a rumor that 5G is connected to coronavirus because the locations of 5G towers coincide with large populations of people infected. But they don't realize that, like, 5G towers to cover an area have to be close together because it's basically just Wi-Fi at this point. And so those areas are highly dense and densely populated, so there's going to be high infection rates.
Yeah, I'll say that's an extremely skewed sample.
People have been burning down towers. I believe mainly in the UK. It's freaking crazy.
Wow. Oh, I mean, what else are people going to be scared of? This is interesting, man.
You notice something funny? I went with my girlfriend to get a phone. She switched from Sprint to AT&T, and our guy was telling us, the guy that was selling us the phone was talking about 5G and mentioning the whole thing about how it's going to, like, he literally said, it's so funny that it's just all this coming back to me. Like, he said, oh, yeah, around March, it's going to get really bad. He's like, he literally told us this. Around March, it's going to get really bad. And it's like, and it's all connected to 5G. 5G's coming. I'm like, dude, you're trying to sell a phone. I'm supposed to be buying a phone. Like, what are you trying to tell me? Don't want me to buy the phone? Like,
don't you make commission off of me buying a phone from you?
Yeah, I was like, dude, we got like 6 iPhone 11s. Like, dude, get your sale. Come on, man. But yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is crazy. Makes me just want to pick up my PS4 remote.
Scared like a little smooch.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. My hands are clean, but
take my time. I don't want to game too much and get bored too fast, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I've been having a lot of fun with like Animal Crossing because it's nice and slow.
What games have y'all been playing?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Just that. Dreams. Animal Crossing and Dreams, pretty much exclusively.
I've played Animal Crossing. I haven't really the past week because they're doing like an Easter special and they turn all like collectibles into eggs basically that are worthless.
Yeah.
So there's no.
But you can eat them. You can eat them.
Whoa.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Actually, I made a TikTok that blew up where I pushed the rabbit over into the corner of my island and I put a fence around it, and then I put up like signs that was like, "Get out of here, fuck you, we hate you."
So I was watching this.
Since.
Yeah, I was watching this boundary break video. It's this guy who goes through video games and sees what's outside boundaries, whatever. He did one on the new Animal Crossing, just like a bare bones one. And as soon as you actually leave out of frame for the bunny, like, how he's always jumping and stuff, he just goes, and just like stops going crazy. It's hilarious.
It's creepy.
Because like even he knows he's putting on a character. He knows everybody hates him. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ? What are you playing?
I feel like I'm the only one that hasn't played Animal Crossing.
I haven't played. No.
Yeah, I played it for just like maybe 5 minutes on my friend's Switch, but he took it away because I was messing some stuff up. I didn't know what I was doing. But like I said earlier, I just downloaded Jump Force and
I need to play through that.
Jump Force. Jump Force is the one with all the anime characters, right?
Yeah, it's mostly One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto,
Jump kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of different animes combined into like one game.
Yeah.
You pretty much get to like scramble through whichever anime you want and kind of create your own custom character with your own custom, like abilities. So that's pretty fun. And then I've also been playing Call of Duty.
That is a big thing. Yeah.
The new Warzone one is going crazy right now. A lot of people playing that.
Yeah, I will say this real quick because you just brought up Call of Duty. They were going to have a big LAN tournament here in Dallas. Like, I think it was supposed to be the beginning of May, and it was sold out. It immediately sold out the convention center in Dallas with, I think, over like 3,500 tickets, and it's canceled. Each one of those tickets was, I think, $15, the entry fee. So they've already lost like 40 or 50,000 in ticket sales because of the events canceled, just like that.
Do you know where it was going to be at?
Just the convention center in Dallas, I think. The Omni, I think, is the convention center out there.
Oh dang! Still, the Omni, dude, that's like so expensive place.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone just postpones. I mean, if they're canceling that, that's money they lost that they would have had to do the next one, and it's just like, it's just really like not only like it's not only with the now what's going on in these events, but it's like it just puts a whole question mark on everything that's supposed to happen in the next year, because it's all just gonna sandwich itself into like one bigger problem, because are these events gonna be just for a while? I mean, I feel like a lot of Kickstarters are going to be created with whatever money anyone can salvage to donate to these events, but I don't really see a lot of people are like strapped for money right now, so you can't. It kind of hurts these events because people don't have the money to just like, we just spent money on this event, like now it's canceled and it's supposed to like donate now so it can happen next year or whenever it's supposed to happen. Like I was looking at because the Smash World Tour has that right now. They have a Kickstarter for every single major that was going to happen in their city.
Wow.
Dude, nobody's donating at all. Like CEO, the one that's like literally gonna that thing is done for. There's maybe like $17 donate to that. It's been up for a month. And on top of that, everybody else has no more than $200 downloaded or donated per major, and it's just like that just really bums me out, because I really don't think I feel like this whole world tour is just going to be a bust. I don't think it's ever going to happen. This was a huge thing because this was like a self-started thing, not Nintendo. No one helped that whole community do this thing for the first time, and now it's a huge bummer.
And I mean, events are getting canceled like all through the year. I just found out a couple of days ago that QuakeCon was canceled. I just remembered. QuakeCon's been in Dallas for 25 years, man. That's crazy. And this was supposed to be in like early August, and it's canceled
now. One of the oldest like LAN events of all time is Quake Fest.
That's that's like a Halo Fest. I mean, Quake back in the day, Doom, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the League of Legends. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. League of Legends.
I was just saying, the League of Legends North American like championship series for the spring was going to be held here in Dallas. Rocket League North American Championships for spring was going to be held in Garland for some reason. I don't know why specifically Garland, but that's the location they decided on. But both events are canceled, and both events brought in a revenue last year for those events of over like $2.5 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the league players. Oh my god, the pots for those games are they're not even like, they blow me away. Like athletes don't even get paid that much, and so I'm just like, people are losing so much money, man. Those teams, oh my god.
They had a higher viewer rating for the World Championships in League of Legends last year than the Super Bowl got in like 2019 and 2018.
Wow, man.
That's
If
crazy.
you think about it, all these things are getting shut down as far as August now. The Olympics move back, and the Surgeon General, as posted by NBC News, said that next week is going to be our 9/11 moment.
Yeah, the Pearl Harbor.
So,
right?
I mean, if we're already, delayed back to August and we haven't even reached the peak, as we can predict.
Every week it's supposed to be the worst week, but I'm like, I think that's something that you can say now, but like, every week is gonna get slightly worse unless the curve is flattened,
Yeah.
That's all. Like it's like it's something that, it's a headline. Oh, this is gonna be our Pearl Harbor moment. This is gonna be our 9/11 moment once again. I'm like, there's no point in saying that when, dude, if it's gonna be worse than that, then this is just a whole new thing. No, it's not. If it's just gonna be like that for a week, no, it's gonna get worse week after week after week. Like,
this is definitely a new moment in history. I don't think it should be compared to anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. I think about it like when they talk about it on the news about, it's the silent, enemy or the invisible enemy. Like, yeah, but I always think about it too. Like, people are dying and we're not even like, we're literally, there's wars where hundreds of thousands of people will die. And what their number was like at one of the last, maybe earlier this past week, Trump was saying that, I mean, not only him, but like his whole task force, they were saying, oh, like, we're looking at about 200,000 people are gonna die in the U.S. And I'm like, 200,000 people? Like, that's something that happens on an actual war, a battlefield, And then the fact that it's like literally just happening in the U.S., just happening, and people are just dying, and we're just not even at war. We're just here, and that number is just a crazy number to hear, to think about that.
Yeah, people that deal with. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, no.
I got you last time.
Yeah, people that deal with like pandemics like influenza and the original SARS, which this is basically just the sequel to.
Right.
Like they're like, yeah, I mean they've been saying for decades, but ever since, not decades. What was the last one? 2008? Was that SARS or MERS? Like it's been a good.
It was SARS.
Flu too.
I mean, we've had a good like. Yeah, so there was SARS, which is a good 12 years ago. You've got Ebola happened in 2014, 6 years ago. I mean, people that have dealt with pandemics like this and stuff have been saying, we need to be ready, we need to be ready, we need to be ready. And then coming up, they're like, hey, we're not ready. I mean, if you look back at predictions that guys like Dr. Fauci are saying now, they coincide kind of well with what guys like Bill Gates and all them said 6 years ago, where they're like, if this happens again, you might see 200,000 to 300,000 deaths, and this, and now it's all lining up, and it's like, I mean, shoot, we had so much time to prepare for this, and we didn't.
Was Dr. Fauci the one that they killed?
No, Fauci's the current doctor on Trump's team.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about a China guy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
No, that's the guy that like found it, and then they were like, hey, shut up, and then he died of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what it was.
So do y'all have anybody? Do y'all have any close dealings with the virus? I mean, anybody that might have been affected or anything, or no?
Yeah, at my workplace, they didn't tell us who, but someone at my workplace was sent home because they tested positive.
Yeah, wow. my mom's two of my mom's personal, like one of my mom's oldest friends, like in life has it. She's been self-quarantined in her house for. We talked about a couple of days ago, so she said 14 days at that point. So yeah, almost 3 weeks she's been quarantined, and so I mean that's at this point. She said that like she's still been quarantined in her room, basically not allowed to get out, and that she's finally started to kind of feel better. So she's like in the recovery phase, but even then, like here in recovery phases is kind of like it could be a fluke because the virus moves in whatever way it wants. It could just be like you're feeling good for a couple of days, and then it just bears right down on you and just starts really taking a real beating on you, and then it's crazy because I mean that's I know this person, but I haven't seen this person in years, and my mom hasn't seen this person in forever, like months. I mean I don't know even that, but I know my mom hasn't been exposed to her or this and that because she's been in quarantine for so long. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that, like, dude, even someone that I kind of like mutually know has that stuff right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends, who I actually got hired on at Walmart, who's been in a job a while back, he went home today sick with a fever, and he's gonna volunteer to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. So we'll see. I mean, I'll keep in touch with him, see what's up with him. But that's yeah.
That's the best thing.
What's funny is like he works in the back with the trucks, and I'm up here with people. I'm a cashier in my work, and like the fact that like if he caught this, the fact that he caught this before me is kind of like it's insane because I'm the one who deals with people and he's not. So it's kind of crazy.
And I feel because what does he do exactly? So like does he load trucks like boxes and stuff?
Yeah, he unload trucks. He does freight and everything. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess he touches
my dad does, So, and that's the thing is like that's another way like people are talking about community spread is like, oh, this thing survives on different surfaces at different levels and different periods of time. So, whatever he could be touching or whatever, not saying he has it or anything, because you never know. But I think the thing he's doing, you gotta volunteer, man. You gotta like if you're feeling any little bit, to just go literally lock in the room, just chill out, whatever you're feeling like.
Hey, why you coughing, bro?
I actually had up until a couple days ago I had like my really bad sore throat, but that was it. And I was like, oh, what is this? This can't be that good. Stayed home for a day, but then like just yesterday it cleared up. So I mean I'm good now. We're working with the public, as you know, Cole. Like we're probably next to healthcare workers. Next to healthcare workers, we're probably the most at risk.
Yeah, because y'all are in the front lines as anything. Because y'all are literally in a supermarket / just whatever. Y'all are at big stores.
Yeah, I mean, bills gotta get paid, man. Like I can't not work. I have tuition to pay. I have rent, car, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's scary how fast. No, it's scary how fast it got here. Because I remember when we were in Colorado for spring break. That was when I think the first case in Texas was found.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because this thing started in December, right? So it took 2 months to get to the U.S. And then it took a couple weeks to get to Texas. And then it took a week to get to Tarrant County. And then just a few days, someone that I worked with got it. It's just how fast it's a wonder I don't have it yet, honestly, because I work there like about 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, half of the time I'm out there in front of people, and I never realized how hard it was. I never realized how hard it was not to like touch my face at all until now I'm like afraid of it.
Yeah, dude, same. Like, in all honesty, I have like habits of kind of doing that, and like. Also, I used to have like this habit of like biting my nails, and I've totally fucking stopped that shit because I cannot do that. Like,
yeah, you can't do it right now.
And I haven't done it. Like, but the thing is, even before that, like I had already stopped. So thank God I like completely like the habit was broken at the right time too, which is crazy.
I've still got that habit. I've struggled since I was young.
Yeah.
If I could interject real quick, I'm gonna have to get off here pretty soon. Is there any closing statements anyone wants to make real quick about anything before we wrap it up?
Yeah, if anyone's watching this, stay home.
Yeah.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Don't go out.
Don't touch your face. Quarantine yourself if you're feeling any sort of symptom, even if it's 1 or 2. Stay home. Stay around the same people. If you're living in a house with multiple people, stay around those people. Don't stay social distance. That's all you gotta do. Play some games.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, shelter at home or in place does not mean go to Walmart or Target respectively.
Unless you need to. Unless you need groceries.
Unless you really need groceries.
Only
that. People be up on Twitter and Snapchat talking about I had quarantine. It's like, I know you go to Walmart and your mom and your girl's house 3 times a week, dude. You're not quarantining.
I've got my dailies, man. I've got my daily customers are in there every single day. I'm just like, You're literally like, I'm here because I have to be. You don't have to be here every day.
Yeah.
Bro, take these.
You really need go home.
Yeah.
Take these 8 shopping trips and just do them now, and then don't come here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
in the nicest way possible. I don't want to see you.
Also, I think another good closing statement for most Americans is stop panic buying, man. God, stop panic buying.
Yeah.
Jesus
Shelves
Christ.
are still empty.
Leave some toilet paper for the next person. Come on.
I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have people every day buying it because we have daily limits, but not like how many you can buy in a week. So
yeah, well, I work up at Target. We have a time before work for employees to come in, like before the store opens, to on certain days to just get their essentials more than anyone. I went in there. We had 3 packs of toilet paper. That was after restocking.
Oh my god.
Like, come on. We didn't even have sanitizer. We couldn't even restock because there's none.
Yeah, we don't have any store use for ourselves either. Like we went about a week without anything for the employees either.
We just got
That's-
gloves
Oh,
this
that's
week.
crazy.
Holy crap, that's
That's
Man.
insane.
Yeah, they just installed shields in our registers, but those things aren't going to do anything. Like they're not even over the right part of the register where the customers are. It's so dumb.
Yeah, we don't even have a shield because our electronics boat is like 2 desks with
Yeah.
like full coverage. So like someone's just gonna walk around the shield, be like, "Hey, excuse me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's how customer service is for us. It's a big, open thing. They just put it right in front of the register, but anybody's here, they're coughing in my face.
Yeah, basically. I'm excited for this to pass though, because I mean this is the first pandemic that because you hear parents talk about like, oh man, we were terrified of influenza, or there was the bird flu, the swine flu when we were kids stuff. It's
Oh man, those 2 weeks.
once we all make it through, we're gonna be able to say, hey, yeah, we survived COVID-19. Like that's a whole thing that that we experienced. I was too young to really appreciate Ebola. I was just making Ebola memes. Didn't
Yeah.
realize what was going on. I was like 14, 15 at the time. So it's going to be nice to be beyond it and be able to say, hey, I made it through. But gosh, the sacrifices we're making, the people
Knock on wood.
that aren't.
Knock on wood.
Knock
Yeah.
on wood, yeah.
So that's
It is.
it.
Alrighty, guys.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening to this besides our professor,
That's- Jermaine.
Thanks for tuning in. Here's a little good luck
Hand
Hand
sanitizer.
token
Yep.
to Purell.
all right, guys. Y'all stay safe.
You
See you
too.
guys.
All right,
See you guys.
Good luck.
See y'all one day. We'll see when we see
Yep.
each other again.
We got this.
Yep.
All right.